Welcome to today's video where we're discussing one of Europe's biggest environmental concerns, the weakening of the Atlantic Meridional Overturning Circulation, or AMOC. This ocean current is crucial for Europe's climate, but if it collapses, the consequences could be devastating. Today, we're going to explore the potential dangers, including which countries are at risk, how agriculture could suffer, and the threat of floods. Let's dive in. The AMOC is a system of ocean currents that transports warm water from the tropics to the North Atlantic. It plays a crucial role in regulating Europe's climate by bringing warmer temperatures to the region. This allows countries like the UK, Ireland, and much of Western Europe to have much milder winters than places at similar latitudes, like parts of Canada or Siberia. But if AMOC slows down or collapses, Europe could face a climate shift that would drastically change daily life. So what would happen if AMOC collapses? Europe's climate could become dramatically colder. Some climate models suggest that in a worst-case scenario, Northern Europe's average winter temperatures could drop by as much as 7 degrees Celsius. This wouldn't just make winters harsh. It could lead to more severe storms, coastal flooding, and rising sea levels. Countries like the UK, Ireland, Denmark, and Norway would face increased storm surges and flooding. In fact, some studies predict that parts of the UK could see up to a 50-centimeter rise in sea levels by the end of this century. Beyond the cold and floods, Europe's agriculture would also be severely impacted. Countries like France, Spain, and Italy, which rely heavily on temperate and stable climates for wine production, wheat, and other crops, could experience colder, more unpredictable weather. This would disrupt growing seasons and significantly reduce crop yields. Some experts suggest that Europe's overall food production could drop by up to 20% if AMOC collapses, leading to food shortages and higher prices across the continent. While the impacts on Europe would be severe, an AMOC collapse would affect the entire world. For example, West Africa, which depends on predictable rainfall patterns for farming, could experience prolonged droughts, threatening food security for millions of people. Similarly, parts of North America's east coast could see more frequent hurricanes and increased flooding. One study suggests that the collapse of AMOC could raise sea levels along the U.S. East Coast by nearly a meter. Major cities like New York, Boston, and Miami could experience devastating floods as a result. So, why is AMOC weakening? One of the primary reasons is climate change. The melting of the Greenland ice sheet is releasing massive amounts of fresh water into the North Atlantic, which disrupts the ocean's salinity. This fresh water prevents the dense, cold water from sinking, a process that is crucial to keeping AMOC flowing. Additionally, global warming is changing weather patterns, making the ocean's heat distribution more unpredictable. If this trend continues unchecked, it could spell disaster for Europe and beyond. Preventing the collapse of AMOC isn't something that can be directly controlled, but the solution lies in reducing global carbon emissions. By limiting global temperature rise to below 2 degrees Celsius, we can slow down ice melt and the disruption of ocean currents. Countries must transition faster to renewable energy, invest in sustainable technologies, and promote carbon capture initiatives. Every step we take to reduce emissions buys more time for the planet to recover. To sum up, the weakening of AMOC is a ticking time bomb for Europe and the world. While we don't know exactly when a tipping point will be reached, the impacts could be catastrophic, from colder winters and flooded coastlines to major disruptions in agriculture.